We, as this new generation of leaders, must realize that it must now go beyond words.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all of you, my dear friends, fellow Africans who are here in the continent, and also to those who are in the diaspora. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you at this moment where we are going to share this good news from our mother continent, Africa. This week, the president of Botswana, His Excellency President Duma Boko, visited the new president of Mozambique, Mr. Daniel Chapo. I know many of us Africans, we don't know that this time Mozambique has a new president called Mr. Daniel Chapo. He is not famous, but he is a president of Mozambique. During a discussion, the president of Botswana spoken good things. I wish these things you fellow Africans to hear, and let us listen what this message from Duma Boko discussed with the president of Mozambique, Mr. Daniel Chapo. Welcome.
In this regard, we must be ready to leverage our private sectors, bring them on board, and get them actively involved in addressing some of the problems that we must deal with. We, as this new generation of leaders, must realize that it must now go beyond words. We must get into action, and quickly. We don't have the time. The luxury of time we don't have. We need to hold each other by the hand. The flight from Gaborone to Maputo is less than an hour. So we have no excuse not to be in constant touch with each other. Even pay quick visits to resolve any niggling problems that we may face in any regard. So it's important for us. We're already trading with each other. We're already working together. The relationship between Botswana Oil and Petroleus de Mozambique at some point involved about 303 million liters of fuel. As we speak, it's sitting at about 132 million liters. We are looking to raise it to 240 million liters. That's about a 108 million liter increase. Phenomenal. We must do it not today. We must do it not tomorrow, yesterday. Very important for us to appreciate the urgency of the situation. We need infrastructure that links us. We need surface transportation, rail infrastructure. As it has been indicated, the rail connection from Mozambique to Zimbabwe is in good shape. In Botswana, it is in reasonably good shape. We are in the process of upgrading, make it even more efficient, better. We trust that by the end of this year, we would have improved tremendously our rail infrastructure within Botswana. The better then for bulk transportation to take place by rail. And we now must gather, Botswana and Mozambique, focus on improving and upgrading, assisting Zimbabwe to improve the internal rail infrastructure in Zimbabwe.
Yes, that is a good remarks from President of Botswana, President Duma Boko. Of course, he spoken very well on the issue of how especially young generation or young leadership should do. Of course, he said it must go beyond of words and get into actions. This is a problem that we have, good words, we have good speeches, but when it comes to implementation or action, we are poor. So we need to go beyond words. Apart from that, also President Duma has touched the issue of holding each other. Yes, we know that these African countries, economically, we differ. There are those who have a good economy, like South Africa and Nigeria, countries such as Egypt. Of course, also we have countries that have low economy, countries such as Djibouti, these small countries, Malawi. These are just small countries that need to be head by these powerful country, our countries in the continent. Also, is spoken on the issue of infrastructures, and I think this is an important issue in the continent of Africa. As you know, that Africa, we have these resources, we have potentials, but infrastructures is the main problem of connecting Africans to those areas. As you know, we don't have an infrastructure that can unite African countries, and that's why sometimes when you see our leaders, for instance, those who are in the southern part of the continent, they want to go to maybe western part of the continent. Maybe someone in Botswana want to go to Nigeria. First of all, you have to go to Dubai or to Paris. Then you go back to Nigeria or to Abuja. We don't have a direct flight from Gaborone to Abuja. We don't have direct flights maybe from Pretoria to Kigali. You see, we need to improve our infrastructures. And if we can have good infrastructures that can connect Africans, I hope we can run businesses very, very, very smooth, and businesses can give Africans benefits. Of course, on the issue of the loads, of course, all of us, we know that we have a lot of rough loads. Our infrastructures, load infrastructures are not good. We have challenges in railway. We don't have railways that's connecting African countries, and that's why you had the plan of Botswana, Mozambique, and also Namibia, as well as Zimbabwe. They have the plan to build railway that will connect those countries. If we can have good infrastructures, I hope we can do businesses very easy. People can interact each other. And another issue that I see is these borders. Yes, we have plans, we have good plans, as Mr. Dumabok said, but what about these borders? We have visas. How these visas are restricting Africans from doing business, from exchanging ideas, from interacting one another. So I think we need also to look on the issue of borders. We need to collapse borders, and of course, I hope this generation of leadership of the continent of Africa has a duty to collapse these borders, because these borders, to continue holding these borders, it means we're accepting the Berlin Conference, and we're accepting the ideas of colonizers that Africans, we don't have mind that can think beyond Europeans. I think we need to collapse these borders to find the way how we can interact each other. You know, sometimes you find ourselves, or you find Africans in a situation where we think that we don't have technologies, we don't have skills. Why? Because of these borders. I'm sure if we can open these borders, we can exchange ideas. People can move from one place to another. Technologies can move from one place to another. And this will make Africans to share their thoughts, to share their ideas, to share technologies. From there, they can innovate many things. For instance, look, all of us, we know that countries such as Democratic Republic of Congo has resources, but these resources are being manufactured or sometimes processed by Europeans. Just imagine the European countries, they don't have cobalt, they don't have coltan, but are the ones who know how to add value to cobalt, to coltan, to tin, to lithium. Chinese, the same to Chinese. The Chinese, they don't have these things that we have, but are the ones who are adding value to our natural resources. Maybe through minerals you cannot understand. Let us look on the issue, for instance, cocoa. All of us, we know that Africa is the only country or many continent that are producing cocoa. We know Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are the main producers of cocoa, but ask yourself where chocolate are being manufactured or made. It is in Switzerland, you see. So we have chocolates. We have cocoa, but we don't know how to manufacture chocolates. So I think if we can open these borders, I hope there are some people who are in different parts of this continent who can know how to add value, how to manufacture, or to produce products from cocoa apart from chocolate. And this can open the minds of Africans, and this can help Africans to do businesses and also to add value, and through that they can make a lot of money and become billionaires. And that's why you see others are coming in Africa poor and leave Africa while they are billionaires, millionaires. They make a lot of money. And of course, if you touch the issue of borders, it's only these borders for Africans. Just imagine, we Africans, we are being restricting each other. It is difficult for Nigerian to move to South Africa, but it is very easy for the Chinese to move from China to Nigeria, or to from Nigeria to Senegal or to Ghana. But it is very, very difficult for Africans here in the continent to move from Malawi to Zambia, then from Zambia to Zimbabwe. You see, we black people, we don't love each other. And that's why I think we are still keeping these borders. But these borders, for me, I think are for Africans only, because we see Chinese are moving, Europeans are moving, Americans are moving across the continent without being asked these visas. But when it comes to Africans, you will find yourself in trouble, that it is very, very, very difficult for Africans to move around their own continent. We see in Europe, in European countries, people are moving free in European countries. But when it comes to Africa, it is very, very, very difficult. Africans, we are copying everything except borderless continent. While Europeans have collapsed their borders, they have their own visa. People in Europe can move free from one country to another. But in Africa, it is very, very difficult. The way we are copying other things, let us also copy the things of borderless continent and then paste here in the continent of Africa. Look, for instance, on the issue of currency. Europeans, they have their own currency, euro. What about Africa? We don't have currencies. We have more than, I think, 30-something currencies here in the continent of Africa. We have cedi, we have shillings, we have pula, we have naira, we have kwacha, lot of currencies. And all these currencies are very weak. You cannot compare with dollar, or you cannot compare with euro. So I think Africans, we have something to do, especially this generation. We have something to do to make changes in this continent, at least to add something. If we have failed to have a common maybe currency, we have failed to have borderless continent, let us even try to have a single language. As you have seen in this video, these two presidents are speaking different languages. One is speaking Portuguese and another is speaking English. How can you communicate? How can you share your ideas with fellow Africans? Yes, we have language that are very famous. For instance, Swahili. Swahili is very famous, can be used for communication in the continent of Africa, if we can embrace Swahili. But we are still have these colonial minds to think that we need to use English, or we need to use French. But all in all, I think let us also find a language that we can unite the people of Africa. Apart from that, also we need to have single army. It is very important to have a single army, because we see, for instance, these Western countries, they have NATO, they are so powerful. Even Africans, we can have a single army. It is possible if our leaders, especially these political leaders, have willing to do so. But all in all, my dear friends, fellow Africans, I'm trying to explain those things in order for us to understand what we can do, especially this generation, the current generation of leadership in the continent of Africa. As I said many times, our founding fathers have done their jobs. Their jobs is to bring political independence, but this time we are still lacking economic independence. We need Africans to own resources. Just imagine how many Africans own mines in DRC, how many African countries own this oil company. Many of oil companies are Europeans. We have this British Petroleum, BP, we have Total from France, we have Puma from Italy, and many Western companies. But remember that these oil are in Africa. So why don't Africans come together? We have people in Nigeria, we have people in Senegal, in East Africa. Why don't people, all these rich men and women, come together and form a single powerful oil company? Instead of exporting our crude oil, let us refine our oil here and then supply oil in the continent of Africa. Yes, you can say maybe this time we are going to the green energy revolution. We don't need oil. Yes, but what about lithium? That is important for manufacturing car batteries. We have a company that will process lithium to power our electric cars. And if that company is here, maybe it is owned by Europeans. So we need Africans to own resources. We want Africans to engage in economic activities to drive our African economy. So I think through that we can achieve, as the people of Africa, we can bring changes. I hope. Those are just my opinions from what I heard from President Duma. But I'm trying to add something maybe to see how we can bring changes. But all in all, dear friends, fellow Africans, I wish you have so many things that you can share with us. I know you have good ideas. Please make sure that you share your good idea. Don't keep with your idea. Please share with others so that there's those who have maybe capitals, they have opportunities to implement your idea. It will be better if you can share idea with us. Do so through the comment section, and also help us to share the video to other Africans here in the continent and also to those who are in the diaspora. Up to that, my dear lovely family, friends, let me say have a nice time. Stay in power. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Africa. Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make African great. Thank you, Africa.